This is Luke, and this is my review of the Phantom 2 Vision, the one with the built-in camera. I chose this one because you might be thinking, well, why would you want their own proprietary crap camera compared to the obviously superior GoPro? Well, actually, it's not a bad camera. It's a very decent camera. I've took pretty great photos and stuff. In fact, you can look at my videos that I've taken around the area of beautiful Dana Point on my channel. And I would say the reason that this is so much more expensive than a non-GoPro version is because this actually has smartphone connectivity. In fact, that's what this clip is here for. And you can start, stop, control the camera and see the video live right on your phone. And you might be thinking, well, the GoPro does that too. Well, here's the difference. The GoPro uses Wi-Fi to get its video streaming and control. Well, that's also what is used to control the Phantom. So that's a huge issue because you do not want your Phantom flying away because it's intercepting with the GoPro gibberish which is going on, which has no use for this Phantom. Will just scramble all the controls. So the Vision is a great quadricopter. I was really scared off by the numerous horror stories, literal horror stories that are on the internet telling you about how these things will simply fly away, fall out of the sky, horrible battery issues, whatever. This thing has been a dream. I mean, I don't know what these people are doing. I think it has something to do with the calibration, which is a very simple process in my opinion. But I think they're messing up because I have done probably 30 flights with this thing. 30 flights, 30 cycles of batteries, and I haven't had a single issue, not a single flight issue. No jittering, no lag, no flying away, no battery issues, no warnings. And I've done enough flights to say that there is no issues as far as I've seen. I would recommend this for people who are not necessarily professional photographers. This is not a professional unit. There is no gimbal. But I recommend this to people who want a drone, excited by the idea of a drone, people who want good stills, people who want that kind of stuff. It's perfectly sufficient. I mean, I took a lot of videos which actually look pretty great. You know, I just think that it doesn't have the gimbal required for professional video. Now, if you have any other experience in RC, like planes, helicopters, cars, or anything like that, like I do, you're probably going to get used. You're probably used to something like this. This is a battery charger that I use for my cars and my planes and my helicopters. And you might be used to a battery that's something like this, that uses Dean's connectors or something like that. Well, it's much different than the Phantom battery. So, if you have experience in RC, this is probably what you would use or something similar to what you would use for a hobby grade car like Traxxas or a hobby grade plane like E-Flite or Blade or something of the similar. This is a car battery. I use this for my Traxxas Slash. It's a 5,000 milliamp battery, very close, actually almost, I think it's identical to what the Phantom uses. So how you would charge this is you would make sure this is set to LiPo, which it is, and you're going to plug in your Dean's connector, and then you have to plug in the balancing lead into the corresponding balancing plug. So this is a 3-cell, so this one goes into here. And then you press start and you hold for 3 seconds. And then it starts cooling in its fans and it does all that. So this isn't very hard. It's just that it's much harder than what the Phantom does. This is the Phantom battery. This is the charger. It looks like less of something you would have in a hobby grade RC and more like something you would see on a laptop. Well, that's because all the fancy charging technologies that you're usually seeing in some other type of, you know, hobby grade charger, it's all put into here, into this little block. That also makes these batteries more expensive, but I'm personally okay with that because batteries are expensive throughout whatever hobby you're in. But to plug it in, this is so easy. You just, that's it. I mean, it's charging. I think it might be already fully charged, but usually you'll see a couple of beeps and stuff like that, and you'll be ready to go. See, for instance, and to check your battery life, you just press the top. See, I have a full charge, so I'm ready to fly. So here is the installation and taking out the battery. So this is the battery, and here is the battery port at the other side of the Phantom. It's just a little opening. So it's really easy to put in the battery. This is 1+ of the battery. You just simply line up this little connector here with what's going on in there, like here, and you just slide it in, almost like you're loading a gun or something. You just give it a little push, and it's in there. It's simple as that. But one thing I dislike is how hard it is to get it out. There's been many times where I've been sitting there for like 3-5 minutes just to get this out. I'm going to demonstrate that with you. It's pretty tough to get it out. See, that was pretty lucky, but it's usually a lot harder than that. So here we are outside. I'm going to take the Phantom for a flight and to demonstrate to you how to do the calibration process. So what you're going to do first is you're going to start up your controller by turning on the range extender and turning on your controller and keeping both of these switches into the upright position. Then you're going to get your phone out, like my iPhone here, and you're going to go to your settings, and you're going to connect to something that says Phantom and then a whole bunch of gibberish kind of letters. So I'm going to turn on my Wi-Fi and just wait for it to connect to here. So now we're connected to the Phantom, or at least it's connected to it. It's found it. We are going to open up our app. You see it says right here, we're connected to our Phantom 6 2019F. Your number might be different. So I'm gonna put my phone into the phone holder. Actually, let's do it this way, like that. And now you have your first-person view and everything you need right here. So I'm going to take off this controller real quick right here, and I'm going to show you the calibration. So first, you're going to obviously have to turn on the Phantom just by pressing and then pressing again and holding for a couple seconds until you hear those beautiful little beeps. It's going to connect to our phone here, and we're gonna get some live video, and it will tell us how many GPS satellites we have. So we're gonna get our app to open up. Sometimes it says connection to Phantom failed, but I think that's just some sort of I think it's still connecting to the Phantom. Okay, there. We have it, and we have 6 GPSs. 6 is what you need, but it needs to be a solid 6 or 7. So we're just gonna wait for that to be a solid 6. We have our home point established, so that means we have good GPS and we're ready to fly. But we still need to calibrate it. So this switch right here, the right switch, S1 switch, you're gonna switch this up a whole bunch of times until this right here turns yellow. So right now it's blinking green for GPS, but now it's a solid yellow. So now you're gonna pick it up like this, and you're gonna spin around like this, and then when that yellow light turns green like it just did, you're gonna tilt it up so the camera's facing upwards, and then you're gonna spin it around again, noticing the color of the lights. Now we have blinking green, and we are ready for takeoff. I like to have the battery facing towards me, so that's what we're gonna do. So then, now you can put on your controller and get everything all set up. And what you're gonna do is you are going to take these little, you're gonna take your joysticks and you're gonna put them to the bottom corner. That starts the rotors. And And then to take off, you're just gonna, what I like to do is push full throttle up. Don't hold back, or you might have a tip over. So just full throttle up. Beautiful. So I'm not sure if you can see this, but there's our Phantom. I'm gonna start bringing it down. So here's our Phantom. So what all these means is, if you're used to normal RC, this throttle stick is usually not springed. If you notice, this is springed. And that's because this has GPS. Right now I'm not doing anything, it's hovering its own place. So what you want to do here is, since it's already good for you, like it's already hovering for you, it hovers for you at center stick. So the hover, you just let go. And to go up, you give it up, and to go down, you give it down. And it has a lot of power when it has this much battery. And then this stick controls movements like this. For instance, like this way and this way. This stick turning this way controls the turning like this. And that's how you control your Phantom. Something that the Phantom has that a lot of drones are starting to get, but the Phantom really kind of started it, at least I think so, are these self-tightening propellers. They're so easy to take off. Just watch this. That's it. It takes literally less than a second. And then to put it back on, you just put it on and, oh, wrong direction. Put it on like that. That's it. That's all it takes. I could take all these off and put them back on like 30 seconds. It's so easy compared to using, you have to use nuts and bolts to screw these things on. It's just so much easier. The thing is I really like to compare DJI to kind of, or at least the Phantom line, to like an Apple product. It isn't as open source. Like, this is all closed in, kind of like an Apple product, but it is very, very simple, intuitive, and easy to use, compared to, for instance, like this being PC, where it's kind of complex but it's more open source, and this being Apple, where it's very simple but it just kind of works. I think that's kind of the way you're going to look at it. And like Iris, Iris 3D Robotics, they're kind of the PC of everything. It's very open source. But I would say for the target audience that this is hitting, which is high-end amateur photography and pictures, this is awesome. I love it. I love taking out for flights. Every day I want to figure out something I can take a picture of, including the beautiful ocean we have over here. And I really love using this thing on a pretty much daily basis. It's just such a great tool. And the simplicity of starting and stopping video and first-person view is just great. I love everything about this Phantom. I paid about $900 for this thing, and I totally do not feel robbed. I feel like I got every penny I paid for this thing, and I really love it. I think it's a great Phantom, and I think if you're in the market for something a little bit cheaper than the Vision Plus and something not as complex as the GoPro drone, this is the simplest cheapest you're gonna want to get drone. I think this is something that is the perfect starter drone. I know the FC40 exists, but I think the FC40 is nowhere near the capacity of this drone, and I think everyone who is in the market for their first real drone, I think this is a perfect starting point. This is Luke. Thank you for watching my review, and please like the video and subscribe.